love brookies. Gosh, I love brookies.
I got
you got that is awesome. I love it.
There's one. That's a good one.
Going on a little bit of an excursion, obviously not carrying a Warrior today. We're going up to northern Wisconsin, hooking up with our good friend Matt up there. We fished with him about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. Trout fishing was absolutely epic. So we're going back up there. It's about 5 hours away from home here. We're gonna try to get back onto a couple of beaver ponds too, so I'm grabbing an extra kayak for our camera guy. Hopefully, hey Nick, hope you fit in this thing. Hang on to your heinies. Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's show. You know, it's all about being diversified, from filming saltwater shows to hunting shows to big water lake shows with the Warrior. And today we're on a trout stream doing some inland trout fishing with our good friend Matt. Hey Matt, how's it going?
Good, Larry.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I've known you for a long time and you are a very passionate guy about a lot of things, but trout fishing is your big thing in inland trout fishing. No doubt you are like one of the best that I've had the experience to fish with.
Yeah, we had a great time the last time we were out and we caught a lot of big fish. This year I'm expecting it to be a little bit better. You know, I've been talking with you about it recently. From last year into this year, fish have gotten even bigger. We had a lot of snow 3 years ago. It really cramped out the creek. So the tag alders were all busted down over the creek, made it pretty much inaccessible.
These trout haven't been touched.
They really have not been touched.
Time to grow. Hey, you guys, hang on to your heinies. We are in for an awesome trip this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. Got him. Oh, he's small. Oh, there's about 3 or 4 more behind him.
Oh, look at that. They're all following it up.
Yep, small one. Nice little brookie. Definitely a small one. Let that go. There was 3 or 4 in there following. So the way we're starting this off is Matt's got a spinner and he's got spoons, Castmaster. I'm gonna be using live bait. And what I did is I kind of hooked the crawler so it's kind of weedless. You got to remember there's a lot of timber, a lot of things that get snagged up. So the more you can cover up that barb, it's more just navigating through the structure that's here. And I've trout fished a long time, but it's one of the kind of things where I started when I was a kid with my dad and kind of got away from it. Now I'm kind of gravitating back to it just to mix things up. But let's talk about what the bottom looks like in a trout stream can really determine on how many trout and how big a trout are sitting there.
So they like a lot of this cover that you see, that's dark cover. Most important is like the bottom color. You got those couple little trout out of here, looked really good from where we were, but the sun's beating straight down on this and you can see the sand is really light colored.
And they would stand out like a sore thumb.
To any birds, and they're totally afraid of any like avian predatory.
It's probably their biggest enemy, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. And once we get up here, there's a little bit darker bottom to it. It's deeper water, and I believe we're gonna see some big fish come out of that next pool.
So when you are trout fishing, that's really a good tip, is to really, when you see that light bottom, don't spend as much time on that, because again, the trout probably, unless you're really on an overcast day or really late in the day where you don't have that high sun, the trout are probably not going to be on there as thick, and if they are, they're probably smaller ones.
When it gets to be sunset and the sun gets behind the trees, this is all going to darken up and those fish are going to feel safe enough to come out in this area, and I'm sure we'd have nailed them if it was later. Yeah, so up here, Larry, we've got a kind of a deep water pool, and you can see how it's dark on the left side.
Yep.
Especially on that left side, those fish are gonna be hanging on that side so they're not seen.
There you go, you're right. Still a small one, but it was just the first cast in there, and I was a little far away from that edge to that dark bottom.
Yeah, you see on that right side there, it's still pretty light. Smaller ones are not smart enough to be out in that.
Haven't seen any of their buddies get eaten once that happens.
As we get deeper and deeper into this, this afternoon, it's gonna get better and better. And it's gonna seem like it's because we're further back, but actually it's because it's getting darker and darker, and your casting is gonna get better.
Yeah, I got a lot of improvement on that. I thought I was a good caster, but not when you put all these trees in the way. One thing I love about brook trout, they're probably one of my favorite eating pan-fried fish, especially when they're native like that. You can always tell when they've been in here a long time, that orange really starts bleeding out on them. They are beautiful. Definitely gonna keep some, get a little bigger.
There's gonna be a great spot on the right side there as we keep going up. It's a nice little deep run.
Again, we're getting a little bit bigger.
You know, a lot of times there's rocks that kind of build up on the bank line, and a lot of them fell down right in the middle of the creek here. So what I did was just piled up the rocks on the edge, put some logs in there, and kind of put it back to the way it was originally supposed to be.
You know, this kind of fishing is so special because it is so quiet. You obviously are walking, you know, you've got to be kind of stealthy for the most part. You know, you think you're a good caster until you get into all this brush, all the things, the obstacles that you have here. But, you know, the big part about trout fishing is that it's the peace and quiet back here. It helps you to think about a lot of things that are going on in your life. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I always got something going on in my life. And sometimes they're good things and sometimes not so good. And, you know, that's the part I love about the outdoors. It's a special place where without being able to have this, I think that you would look at life a lot differently.
You know what, one thing I've noticed is as we're going through and walking this, and I know it's a little early in the day, what I've also seen even in prime times, you'll be hitting pool after pool and they're beautiful pools, but there's no fish in them, or there's small fish in them.
Right.
And I'm not even seeing fish spook anywhere. And what I've seen a lot of times is you're hitting these pools, they all look great, but then you suddenly stumble upon one pool and it's got a dozen beautiful big trout in it. It's gotta be that they come through, they graze through it, they're done, they move up to the next ones.
Right, interesting.
But we'll see what happens. I bet we'll stumble upon one of those pools. That's a good one there, Larry.
Got one, there we go. Ooh, a couple behind them too. Now these fish in this river are pretty much all natives. Matt was saying that this hasn't been planted in since the early 80s, which is hard to believe. But this creek definitely produces a lot of trout for other creeks that run into this. Still staying with the nightcrawler until I run out. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, bulldog. There was a little bit better one in there. Yeah, that's a good eater right there. See, now this one it was hooked way too deep and I just couldn't bring it back. So that's how I kind of go, which one am I gonna keep? I'm gonna keep the one that is hooked too bad. And once I get my 5 that are hooked too bad, I'm done.
I do the same thing just because you catch so many and you get so many beautiful ones that are just barely hooked. It's best to just let them go because you're gonna get some good ones that are hooked badly.
If I don't get 5 that die, I'm fine with it, right? Oh,
that one looks really good.
Wants to hang around by Nick, the camera guy. Pretty much all brook trout in this stream, or there is some browns, isn't there?
There's a couple browns that get into the system, but you know, pretty much
more brookies
this
than
far
anything.
up, more brookies.
I love brookies. Gosh, I love brookies.
So it's interesting when you look at that where Matt's at and you look at how deep this is right here. It's like a little bowl and it's not real big, you know, probably I'm gonna say maybe 10 foot. That's all it takes to hold them fish. There's a little dark bottom in here, especially when it's this time of day. You know, you still got lots of sun, it's high. I think the best thing to do is take your time, go as slow as you can and just keep casting on anything that you think might have some kind of potential, because it probably does. Boy, you would have never thought them fish would be sitting there.
Yeah.
Sitting right in them weeds. Put that spinner right over the top of it. Matt, why are we down like this?
Right now the sun's right behind us, so our shadows are going to be casted out that way.
Okay.
And the longer in the day, the longer the shadow out. These fish are going to be sitting in this pool. Like I said, we've been walking up and up and we haven't really seen a whole lot of the fish that we're expecting to see in these beautiful pools. And a lot of times what happens is they all congregate in one. And I think that's what's going to happen here.
You're right about that, Matt. They're definitely congregated in that spot. When you're going to let these fish go a lot, you guys, try to keep them down in the water because they are kind of fragile. The more you can keep them in the water, the less you handle them, the better it's going to be.
There's one.
That's a really good one, Matt. That's a nice trout.
I got him tied in a knot too. How often do you get that?
Oh, there he goes.
Easy release.
I got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Definitely key to try to stay down low like this so the fish don't know that we're here. When you think about, you know, this kind of fishing, it is so relaxing, and everybody lives a very stressful life nowadays, and I think it's always been that way, and I really don't think we were put here on earth just live freely and not to have stress in your life and a lot of things going on. And You might think to yourself, well, who are you to say that life is tough? All you do is fish for a living. But I do a lot of things, and I do feel very fortunate to be able to fish for a living and hunt for a living and have the show. But I don't really ponder a lot on the things that I've done that are somewhat successful, but I think more about the things that I've done that aren't successful, like the mistakes I've made in life. I think about them a lot, right? When you have the opportunity to come out here and trout fish and be in this kind of environment where there's really nothing around, right? It's peace and quiet. You got the water, you got the birds, you got all the sounds of nature. The fishing is really cool, don't get me wrong, but it gives you that time to think about all the things that you've done in life and the mistakes you've made, and if you could do them over, how you would do them differently. So,
Got one?
Yep. Here we go. Pretty consistent as far as the spots we've fished. Nothing really, really big yet. Now we're just getting into that prime time too. So a lot of trout, which is activity, which is fun. Nice job, man.
Not a big one, but
Yeah, a little bit better.
this is another area that was real slack and slow in here. And now there's a wing over here of rocks, and then all of these rocks here, which were buried into the grasses back here that are out here again. They're doing something, kind of moving the water underneath, making this a little bit deeper, and it's giving them some good water underneath.
Hey, I'll tell you what, one thing that's really cool too, of all you guys that are big Vortex fans like I am, that they have their own glasses out in polarized glasses. That's what I'm wearing today. They got a couple different styles. So you guys, when you get a chance, make sure you check out Vortex and check out their new sunglasses.
That's a pretty good one there.
Spinner up there. There's a good one. Oh yeah, I got a good one. Woo! I was almost ready to give up on the spot, you guys too. Matt's tying back up. Woo, doggy. Oh, look at there.
That's a beauty, Larry.
Oh yes, that's a nice one. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Jeez. It's amazing now that it's getting a little bit later. Or do you think it's a spot? It's definitely not my casting, because look where I'm at right now. I'm about 12 foot up in that tree. There's a lot of things I don't know, but there's a couple things I do know. I know there's no trout up in that tree. You want to know why I know that? Because my worm's been sitting up there for about 15 minutes.
No bites?
Not a bite.
Oh yeah, that's
a good one.
That's a good fish there. That's a brookie too. That's pretty good size. Yeah, and look at how perfect that's hooked.
Matt, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's the time of day or if it's the spot, but the fish are definitely getting bigger. Yeah. That's right after I caught that nice one. Well, same thing happened, right?
Hey, he's still hanging out.
Oh, still hanging out. That's pretty good. Yeah. Mine isn't.
But yeah, they are definitely getting bigger.
Them are big brook trout.
Yeah, that's
Them are
good
definitely.
size.
How long is that?
I'd say that's 13.
That's what I'm thinking.
Something
13
like that,
to 14. That's a nice brook trout. Maybe 14's stretching it, but that's
close.
a dandy.
There's mixed opinions about how you should do it, but I've always been the type that walks upstream, because I feel like walking downstream, you end up silting everything up behind you.
Right.
It doesn't look as natural having the spinner coming upstream, although sometimes in deeper holes, you want to get upstream from the hole, and if you're using a worm, as long as you're on the bank, you're not kicking up the silt. When the silt goes through, it's not just that it clouds up the water, because fish can smell really well.
Yep.
The problem is the silt actually has an odor to it, and the fish...
No, it's a warning.
Or they confuse the smell of the silt. It overpowers the smell of your bait. So they won't be able to see it, they won't be able to distinguish the smell. And so that's my reason. There we go.
Oh, there you go, that's a good one. Oh, nice job, Matt. Nice job. Ooh, that is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, that's a perfect one right there. 10-incher, 11-incher right there.
And that one actually swallowed it.
And that one swallowed it. Look at the orange that bleeds through on them. Clean these, you see how orange that meat is. It's absolutely delicious. All you need on them things is a little bit of flour, and away you go. Matt's got a good recipe for some trout. Oh, here we go. Boy, when I set the hook on that, he really had that rod bowed over.
That is nice.
Yep, that's a good one. That is definitely a good trout right there. Yep. I love that one. Look how beautiful them fins are. You can tell when they're big and mature like that. They got the color, good fighting, good eating. I'm gonna get this guy off and let him go. We're not that far away from bow hunting season. I've got a really good deal for you guys. If you guys can get 10% off on any of the River's Edge tree stands or baronet blinds, just use the Larry 10 code and you guys are able to get 10% off of any of them products. This is one of them time frames where you're putting your food plots in, time to put new stands in, and I'll tell you what, River's Edge has got some absolutely incredible stands along with baronet with their blinds, if you're a ground hunter. So make sure you guys check out all the great blinds that baronet has.
I got one here. This is good too.
Got a good one?
I think so.
Matt, what do you got there? You got a good one.
Pretty good size. Yeah.
There's something special about fishing, but there's really something special about when you're stream trout fishing.
Yeah, for sure. It's the environment, everything around us. Think about all the cool things you get to see in a day. Now this one, it's pretty much all the way down. There's really no way, and the last 3 that Larry was gonna keep flopped off. We've got definitely a good one here. So one thing to keep in mind when you're going out to a stream is, sizing up your tackle to the size of the stream that you're gonna be fishing on. I've got 4-pound line, 4.5-foot rod. It makes it really easy in a lot of these tighter areas like this. This is the reality of it, is you've got really tight pinch points. There's small areas that you need to be able to get into. You can't really make an overhand cast because you're gonna end up putting it right in the bushes. What I'll do is get off to one side of the creek like this. With a shorter rod, you're still near the middle and you're able to make a cast right up through the middle to be able to drag it all the way through. One thing that I'm always looking at is kind of the color of the water. And if it's a stained water like we have here, I'm gonna use a gold, and I typically tend to move toward that orange color. If it's clear water, I'm gonna go with something silver, and I like the yellow in clear water.
Hey, what an amazing afternoon we had here. We really appreciate Matt taking us out. We're gonna go back, obviously go out and get something to eat, make a few errands. Tomorrow we're gonna take the kayaks and go check out a few of the beaver ponds. It's one of them kind of things where it's amazing how fast the day went by, you guys. We got a lot more to come, so hang on to your heinies.
It's almost like the days when you had a Harley and you were waving to the guy on a bike. You see another warrior on the water, you just get a good feel.
First class, all the way from the people that ride them to the people that make them.
They do such a nice job with communication. They'll pick up the phone anytime. It's really almost a friendship.
You could be in any state, and when somebody with a warrior drives by you, you get that honk, that beep. You're truly part of a family, and there's nothing like it.
Introducing Forever Barnwood. Transform your space with the warmth and character of a genuine barnwood look. Forever Barnwood offers over 200 authentic barnwood products. We are commercial and food safe. Our products are available in unlimited quantities while still providing the consistency you need to complete large projects. All of this while still looking like it came out of a 100-year-old barn. Forever Barnwood. Bring the history inside.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We are going to be heading over and fishing a little bit of beaver ponds with the kayaks. We're going to go see if we can get a couple of really big brookies, casting some Cleos on them. That's the cool part about these trips, is all the different things that you can do. And just realizing again how grateful we are to have all these great resources. So you guys hang on to your heinies.
You got him that time.
I got him. We casted that. That's a nice
there.
one. Woo, darn.
Way to go, Larry.
You know, again, it's kind of like doing something different. We came around, we casted this beaver pond with Cleos, and we could not get them. We had a couple of bites. Now, that's about the 4th bite I've had on the bobber. And nice brook trout right there. Gotta love that. That is awesome. I love it.
So we just got back from the spring pond, and it was a lot of exercise, good exercise. We had some fun. Unfortunately, we figured out how to catch the fish right towards the end. So we're making ceviche first. We got jalapenos, red onion, garlic, lime juice, and dill. And we're gonna chop all that stuff together, and we're gonna fillet up some trout right after that. And we're gonna stick it all in there and get it in the cooler, and then we're gonna make up the rest of it. So for thickness, you wanna stay like under a 1/2 inch. So that's all gonna go in the bowl. Peppers, onions, garlic in there. Dill, 4 limes worth of juice. And then I'm done with it, I just throw the lime in there too. So that lime juice just cooks the fish. The trout packed down as tight to the bottom where all the juice is as possible, and that'll just cook away. Lemon pepper, garlic salt. And Montreal, not just good for steaks. You can already see how it's looking like it's cooked, right?
Yep.
We don't need to fry it up too fancy because it's just gonna get all busted up anyway. So we just got back from fishing and we've got to fillet up a bunch of fish. Now we already dressed them out so that we have no guts in them. Makes it easier to fillet them. So you start behind the gill plate there, and then sometimes trout are a little bit slippery. So I usually use paper towel, put it on top, and it allows you to get some good grip. So once you've got the fish off the bones, cut down, get through, and then take out the rib cage. There's a row of bones just above the rib cage here. Find where those are, and you kind of cut backwards into them, and then you can feel where that row is right there. I want to take that right out. You can see the bones right there. Those pop right out, but that's completely boneless. So we got the grease ready. It's the bacon grease that we had started with, cooking all the bacon. We put some time and energy into picking those avocados out, and I think that paid off because these are like perfect. So I just got the bacon in there now. So we got the avocado in there along with the trout. Trout's all cooked. Just put the bacon that we finished cooking earlier. We just chopped it up before, kind of mixing it all together. You don't even need to put any seasoning at all on this because it's got so much already. All right, so we're gonna put a plate together.
Matt, what an awesome time. Again, my friend, thank you very much. Hey, I just want you to know that you're out of toilet paper in the outhouse too.
Okay, yeah, I'll take care of it. Yeah, thanks.
We really appreciate having great people like Matt on that are very passionate about the outdoors and about the things that they do. What a great experience we had this week doing some trout fishing. The cooking was incredible. Not quite sure about that beaver pond stuff, Matt, on there, but hey, it was still a lot of fun and a true experience for sure on that. Hey, we want to hear your comments, you guys, about this week's show. What do you guys thought about us being diversified? And you know, when you're filming a new show each and every week, it's always about giving you guys something new and fresh. We always want to give thanks to our men and women in the armed services for the great service that they give this country and continue to give this country, along with all of our firefighters and paramedics, and no doubt all of our law enforcement agents. It is a great day to be alive, you guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys and gals again next week.